Hello, hello! Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be able to talk about wealth building with you guys. I feel like money is always a no-no topic. So if this makes you feel uncomfortable or nervous, you definitely need to watch until the end because this is gonna bless you, it's gonna give you direction, and I really believe it's gonna give you confidence. More women need confidence when it comes to managing their money. I know that I did. My name is Allee Cyrus. I support ambitious women in creating businesses and lives that they love, that they thrive in, and that they're able to glorify God with. So money is a huge part of that. And I feel like it's something that we often avoid talking about, acknowledging, etc. Even in business. And realistically, if you have a business, you want to make money. If you have a business and you don't want to make money, it's more of a hobby, which is great, but we need to be really realistic about that. And so I want to first talk about how you can get ahead. If you want to create wealth, you realistically need to be starting at a positive net zero foundation, and a lot of people aren't in this day and age. The times we have student loans or people don't know how to use credit cards, and credit card debt is extremely prevalent. Like, there's just all kinds of things that can happen when it comes to a lack of education and a lack of understanding and management of money. So it is key for you to get to a neutral place, a place where you're able to get ahead and start to accumulate wealth first and foremost. And so we're going to talk about that specifically in this video. First of all, getting ahead is something that is kind of treacherous when you're starting it. When you have debt, or when you are not coming from a place where you're able to get generational wealth, or you're able to have access to specific funds, you don't qualify, you don't have credit. Like, there are all kinds of circumstances that can happen, and no one really teaches us what to do in those circumstances. And so I want you to understand that money management principles, and the 5 that I'm going to be teaching you today, are life-changing, 1, but 2, you'll use them for the rest of time. You will teach these to your children, and you'll understand that they're very doable. They're a lot more achievable when you're able to face them, and you're able to implement them, and you're able to steward well. Everything multiplies from that place, okay? So I am really speaking to you from a place specifically of someone who was very behind, and I did not realize I was behind. I came from an upper middle class family, and my parents divorced, so I say upper middle class, but I mean, we felt pretty normal. I always had great clothes. My mom has great style, and we are very thrifty, but I think I looked more wealthy than I was, and I didn't realize that until the end of college when I got hit with almost 100K worth of student loans, which was shocking to say the least. That's okay. Everything obviously is worked out, but starting so negative really threw me off, and I came from a family that didn't necessarily discuss finances, so I didn't even know how to pay attention to them, how to get to know about them. It just felt really scary. It felt overwhelming. It felt like I was losing, so I didn't have a victor mentality with it. You may have felt that before. So these are the 5 habits that I actually brought in that helped me to get ahead and start to get toward that net positive so that I could actually start to even build wealth, okay? First of all, you have to stop spending. That one's really uncomfortable, and that was really hard for me, but you have to stop spending like you have a lot of money. If you are watching this video, then you probably are interested in figuring out how you can get ahead, right? And if you are behind, if you are in a place where you are in debt, then there's no way for you to physically get ahead when you are spending all kinds of money all the time. Obviously, go get the Starbucks. I want that for you. I want you to have dinners with friends. I want you to be able to like move through life and enjoy it. But you need to be really realistic too about what you're spending money on. So we don't need to go all or nothing, but we do need to make sure that we are not spending frivolously. So really cut down your spending, look at what you're spending money on, and evaluate it. Spending money is the crux of being able to delegate money to pay off debt and then accumulate it for the future. So make sure that you are taking all of your acorns and putting them in your nest and keeping them there. That's really important for creating momentum in the right direction. Number 2 is absolutely cutting costs. When I said you needed to look at your spending, you need to then make sure that you are actually making changes. with how you're spending, right? You don't need to cut costs on everything. You can still have joy, like I said, but I really want you to look at what you are spending money on and cut the things that are unnecessary. You being able to have like water and food and shelter, like those are necessary things, right? Like you having a little bit of joy and a social life, that feels really necessary to me. But you cannot spend money on things that are frivolous, and so get really real and ruthless about where you can cut spending, and then you're going to, again, be able to accumulate more acorns over time. Number 3, and this one is one that I feel like always blows people's minds and they get mad at me about. So buckle up, you might get mad, but hopefully you just get real with yourself. Look for more income. You probably could get a better paying job than where you are right now. You probably could negotiate a raise. You probably could do an even more excellent job so that you can increase the amount of money coming in. If you don't have the amount of money that you need coming in, then go get a second job. Create a side hustle. Like, I think a lot of the times we look at things and we feel very fixed with it. Like, this is just my lot in life. This is just my job. I'm just stuck here. But if you're able to have more of a growth mindset around this and you're able to look at your spending, cut costs, figure out what the deficit is, it's actually pretty easy to make up the difference and then create more space for yourself. So look at how you can create additional streams of income and how you can be paid what you need to thrive. And I am an employer. If my employee came to me and was like, hey, I cannot thrive with the amount of money that's coming in right now, I might not immediately be able to give them a raise, but being able to have that in mind, I will be creating and selling and thinking about how I can meet their needs if I value them, which of course I value them because they're my employee. So think about it that way too. I think sometimes there's that tension between employee and employer. Ask for what you need. It's very, very helpful for everybody involved. Number 4, so if you don't have any hard skills yet that you can sell. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you are ambitious, that's probably what landed you on this channel. But if you want to stretch your legs and get into the entrepreneurial realm, or if you're already in it, then I want to say this, and I heard people talk about it and I didn't understand until years into my entrepreneurial journey, and now I'm like, dang, I wish I had listened. It is so much easier to sell other people's things than your own thing. It really is. So look for positions, look for partnerships, look for situations where you're able to sell proven products while you are learning. You can still be an entrepreneur and you can still be learning. You are not just gonna like be birthed into the entrepreneurial world and be a judge on Shark Tank. That's just not how this works, right? So allow yourself to like find employers who can pour into you and teach you. Employment is one of the best forms of mentorship ever, and you get paid to do it. But then on the other side, if you do own your own business, how can you bring in things that are already proven to sell? How can you sell for other people and maybe come on to their sales team? Like, there are a lot of different things that you can do that will give you exposure and give you a way to bring in more income. And if that doesn't fit for what your goal is for yourself, but you still are not able to get ahead, you need to change your expectations. If I could go back to younger entrepreneurial me and look at where I was in different pieces of my journey, I wish I would have slapped myself in the face, you guys, and just said like, drop the ego and go work harder. And rest was really important at that time too, but I could have done a lot more than I realized. I actually had a lot more space with discipline than I realized. And so when you're able to look at all the data and figure out what you need, then add in some discipline and figure out where you can add things, where you can ask for help, where you can learn, and the opportunities really spring up quite quickly. Number 5 is very important. Become highly specialized. And this can happen through paying for trainings. This can happen through employment. This can happen through deep studying. Like, lots of people become experts in many ways. Realistically, you're going to want to be a real expert. You're going to want to be very highly specialized when you say you are, obviously. But when you're able to have a skill that meets a very real problem in the market, you will always be valuable. When you want to get ahead, yes, know your numbers. Yes, know your income. Yes, obviously look at all your options and optimize, but at the same time, make sure that you have a clear goal and vision on what you're going to be helping people with. And if you don't know, go find it, but allowing yourself to become highly specialized is the key to being able to then move through the ranks and really thrive and scale in business as an entrepreneur. For me, like, I have a passion for business, but I didn't feel like I knew anything that other people really needed. So I started to understand marketing, and then I started to understand media buying, and then I started to understand ads and how everything works really well together, and I became an expert at launching. And that highly specialized skill is very nuanced and it takes a lot, and so I'm really necessary in it. So I'm able to sell around that, and I have a whole company around it, and that's really what helped me get where I am. So do not underestimate what being able to be highly specialized can do to get you ahead in the future. That's really like putting money in a figurative bank for the future as you're learning. If you are feeling behind, I want you to understand that it's just a season. That the only thing that is standing between where you are right now and where you want to be eventually is your discipline, your resourcefulness, and you continuing. Just don't quit. That is the key. That is the juice. That is it. And so I hope that these 5 steps really help you feel more grounded, and I hope that you actually use this. I really encourage you, like, if this isn't clicking all the way, watch the video every single day for 10 days. It's going to start to click. Start to open yourself up for opportunities, and you will get ahead. You are going to set yourself up for beautiful success as long as you continue and as long as you apply that discipline. So I'm excited to see the fruit of it. I'm sure you are too. And just remember, we don't do it for the fruit. We're not doing this to be millionaires. We're doing this because we were called, and I know that you qualify. So have an incredible day. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, then drop them in the comment section below, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.